right, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Coach's Box. Number 99, fellas.
Number
99.
99.
Can you believe that?
Hey,
No.
That intro, is that a band from Annapolis? Or?
No.
Oh, okay.
That's our,
No,
that's
you're
our
gonna love it. You're gonna
Washington
love it.
Avenue
And
intro
also,
from the X.
Oh, my God. Just call it the St. Bias Coach's Box.
Oh,
Hey,
wow.
you have a phone right there in your hands. Feel free to do a
Here
commercial
we go.
whenever
I've done
you
probably-
want.
I thought we were already moving past
I
this.
think
So-
I've probably done as many commercials as you until
Yes.
you got to Bias.
Yes, you're probably
I-
accurate.
I don't know what to tell you guys.
99 episodes.
Well, I'm not
you
coming.
know?
I'm not coming over there, so I'll stay where
You
I'm.
never know.
Nope.
Never say never. That's what we try to tell everybody. I'm sure there's people who are working at St. Pius who didn't think they would ever.
Oh, I didn't
Be
say
there.
I wouldn't.
Hey,
This guy.
I didn't
This
say
guy.
I was closing the door that I would never work at Bias. Just not right now.
Just not right now.
Well, that's okay. All right. Well, if everybody didn't know, we have a special guest.
Yeah.
Mr. Pat Burns is here. I don't know if you ever watched the show.
At times I've watched the show.
Just a couple times. So you
He was one of five.
One of
five.
At times.
Just
Got nothing else to do with my life whatsoever. I'll
just turn this on and
watch this train wreck.
probably listen to the train wreck more than probably watch it.
it's probably the best thing to do.
I agree.
So Pat's going to be kind of here talking about one of our favorite topics,
Yes.
officiating.
Your favorite
Your
topic. What are
favorite,
you
Mr.
talking
I'm
about?
quiet all the
Hey,
time.
if we had an after hours or before hours, that's all we ever hear.
I do wanna mention that I went now 3 years without a technical foul.
Really?
3 years.
Are you
now.
sure about that?
I'm
No.
100% positive now.
I'm
you
not
had
buying
one.
it.
Are you sure you didn't have
Nope.
one
You have
last
not
2
went
years ago.
3 years. No
Nope.
way.
Nope.
No, you haven't.
Nope.
I don't believe you.
3.
Are you counting them not written up?
Wait,
full years.
There we go.
Yeah.
Was it written
Yeah.
up?
Well, 2
He
full
had
about
one
it.
last year.
No,
'cause
I didn't.
We had the
It was
Twitter
the year
poll,
before.
Year
was
before.
it?
It was the year before.
It
Okay,
Okay.
so if you got one and it wasn't written up, you still got one.
I didn't.
I only got one this year.
I got 2.
You got two?
I won the award.
I still want to know. I still want to know what it said when you didn't say anything
When?
when you slapped the board on a chair.
Listen,
You did slap it loud because I was watching the game.
I was just mad that,
what-
that
like a
we
how do you write
fouled
that up?
the wrong
How do you
damn
write that up?
Poor Pat over here sitting here thinking, man, what did I do myself
Unsportsman,
into?
unsportsmanlike conduct by the coach.
That happens a little bit. And you know what? After I did that, Zach can attest to this.
I think I got yelled at more than you did.
Yeah.
I witnessed you get yelled at. I think at
What game
our-
was it? What game was it?
I was watching you guys and you got yelled at.
What? Oh, it was our game?
That was Valley
I
Park.
was scouting you.
It was Valley Park.
It was at Valley Park?
You sure?
No, it was a. Oh, you sure it
It
wasn't
was, a home,
Mac?
it was a home game. I saw you get yelled at.
Who? What game was it when Smitty yelled at me?
Oh hell, I don't know.
I can't remember what it
How,
was.
wait, which game didn't I yell at you?
I know.
That's the better question here.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, really?
you
I'm the
guys.
calm one. What are you talking about? I'm the calm one.
I mean,
Right.
Blair has so many to yell at. He's got
Who said that? Which one of you guys said that? Anyway, let's-
Everybody always tells me now this year, they told me that I got Jim Powers on my staff just to be nice to the officials so that I would take off the heat off of me. I said, well, maybe that's a good ploy on my part, I guess. I don't know.
yeah, you're just such a diplomat over here. So anyway, let's not waste Pat's time here, and I'm sure we do have some questions that we have kind of compiled. So they're not all crazy, but at the same time, I think there's some informative stuff out there that we would like to ask. So let's go with Zach. Zach, you just jump in on it.
So just tell everybody a little bit about your background. What's your official position or title, and what are you doing around our area for our area, and then just what are some of the challenges that you face kind of with your position?
Yeah, so I started out, I was going to be the state championship basketball coach when I was in college. That's why, I wanted to teach and coach. And I was down at Southeast Missouri, and instead of down there with the small school basketball, you can have junior high boys starting basically mid-September, 1st of October, and then the girls, the high school season would run the normal season, and then girls junior high at the small schools ran till 1st of May. Well, I found out you could work all the time and didn't have to have a real job. So I kind of got bit by the officiating bug then, and just stayed with it. So that's kind of where my officiating aspect with basketball got going. Came up, got my first teaching job because I was sitting in the hospitality room at the junior high conference tournament at Herky, and I said something about I was a social studies teacher looking for a job, and I coached football at Valley Catholic for a year while I was doing my student teaching. Well, Stan Helms happened to be in the room, and next thing you know, I had an interview with Rich Borman, and I had my first teaching job at Herculaneum. So I spent 6 years at Herculaneum coaching football, assistant baseball coach, head softball coach for 1 year, as well as teaching social studies. Kind of got involved in the college basketball side of things, probably in the late 90s, as far as going to camps and getting hired at the junior college level in Southern Illinois, and it kind of just slowly evolved. Then after a couple years at Seckman, I went to Farmington, and down there I was responsible for scheduling and hiring my own officials, and it kind of started to slowly evolve, and my interest in officiating got deeper and deeper, and spent 6 years at Parkway South as the athletic director. And as I got there, you kind of start seeing that retirement thing, and what other options are out there, and worked real closely with Mark Probst, who held the position before I did, and I worked with Mark when he was the AD at Lutheran South, long before he was involved in the assigning world, and it just kind of slowly evolved from there. Then he's like, hey, I'm going to be getting out in a couple years, so maybe that's something you want to think about. So long story short, that got me to the point where I am now. So I the owner, I guess, for the lack of a better term, of PSB Officiating Services, and I assign football, volleyball, basketball, swim and dive, and field hockey for about 65 schools throughout the St. Louis area. The St. Louis Suburban Conference with 31 schools is my primary conference. That's where I was at when I was at Parkway. The MWA with St. Joe and Carnaword on the basketball side of things. The Metro League with Priory and MICDS and Westminster Christian, and then the Jefferson County schools, which is where I'm from originally. I have football and basketball in Jefferson County, and then basketball down through the five of the MAAA schools: St. John, Park Hills, Potosi, North County, and picked up Arcadia Valley this year.
Oh, no St. Vincent on there, you notice.
That's for all of our Perry County people that watch this show.
For Bruce.
Yeah, let's call it like it is. I think that's for Bruce,
Yes.
who we know is watching on the YouTubes
Secretively.
always.
I actually refereed a game with Bruce one time. He probably doesn't remember it, but back in the day, I think
He probably does.
I refereed with him at it was a middle school game at Perryville in 1996, something like that.
I was in college.
Knowing him, he probably remembers it.
He yeah, well, he probably does. Knowing Bruce.
Knowing Bruce, he probably does.
So, but yeah, I actually refereed with Bruce at one point in time, many
Bruce
years ago.
That's
with
awesome.
the stripes on.
That'd be great.
So with all of that, and with all the schools and the multiple sports that you're doing, what are some of the challenges that you face in your position, whether that's day-to-day, sport-to-sport, season-to-season?
Well, and we talked a little bit before we went on. The biggest thing was, I took over at the height of the pandemic when we tried to start playing games. And, it was an interesting time that, St. Louis County was shut down. Jefferson County was playing, but teetering on the brink constantly of, are we going to play, are we not going to play? Mm-hmm. And, there were that. I'd like to think that there's probably not much more after the first 3 months that I was on the job that they couldn't throw at me that I can't handle.
Right.
That time, and I go back and look at the date, but when when St. Louis County decided they were going to play, everyone said, sitting in the suburban meetings or the other meetings with the leagues up there, we're just going to pick up and play our schedules from October 1st, if that was the date. Well, that lasted for about 12 hours, and with the exception of football, everybody was trying to jam as many games as possible from October 1st until the end of October that they could get in. And there were times I would have, every time I'd get a cancellation or a change or a movement or an ad or whatever it was, I'd print the email off. And there were times I would have 100 emails in my inbox that I would print them all off. I would physically take them. Okay, we're going here. We're canceling this. We're moving this. Doing whatever.
Wow.
And then by the time I would get done with those 100 emails, that stack of papers, there'd be 75 more waiting on me that people had populated back in. So, I feel like if I could last my first year, it's kind of like, it was a lot like, you talk about your first year of teaching, your first year of being a head coach. There's things that you don't know that you think you're ready for. I don't think anybody was ready for last year.
No.
So I feel like, this year has been a breeze, so to speak. It was a little more normal in, I felt like at least last year, I think people felt like they were fortunate to play in a lot of ways. So I didn't really deal with a lot of this referee's bad or this happened and we're upset and you got to do something about it. It just didn't happen.
Right.
But now, this year I saw a little bit more of that. And the challenges I face today, the weather, the month of February was not great. The first 2 weeks of January coming off of Christmas was bad. We had probably the Sunday, the 2nd or 3rd, whatever it was of January, I had from there till Monday morning, I had 15 guys test positive for COVID. And of those 15, 12 of them were varsity only officials.
Oh my goodness.
So I had one game that, from Sunday afternoon to Monday morning, the crew totally flipped over because all 3 guys tested positive for COVID. Wow. So, knock on wood, hopefully we're behind that, and we're back just to the kind of normal weather and those types of things. And it's never fun when it rains or at 2:30 on a Monday afternoon when there's lower level football going on and field hockey going on, or that spot storm pops up and everybody wants to cancel at 2:30 or 3 o'clock when everybody's kind of on their way. So days like that, make me a little cranky and a little testy, and you just kind of try to work through it and roll with the punches and deal with the best way you can.
So with that being said, like when you got let's say a 75 schools or 100 schools that cancel on you that day of, how do you go about and say, hey, these are dates maybe are not going to work if you want to reschedule this. These are the dates. How does that kind of go about?
So as we got down to the end of basketball season this year especially, what it seemed like 3 weeks in a row we lost Wednesday, Thursday, Friday,
yes,
and some Tuesday. Some of them, I can't remember the particulars, but it goes down to, all right, and I have the ability in my system to pull up reports on who's available and open what days. I sit there and look, okay, well, I've got 6 guys who are really varsity officials who show open. That's assuming that they're taking care of what they're going to do on their side as far as their availability. So it's like, okay, and I sent this email probably 4 times over the course of the month. All right, guys, athletic directors, I can add games on Monday the 1st, Wednesday the 3rd, Thursday, 3 or 4 games on Thursday, and nothing on Tuesday and Friday. So, a lot of it's just communicating, and everybody wants to play on Tuesday, Friday. Well, you can't play on Tuesday and Friday.
Right.
There were, and I would still get emails. Well, I know you said no Fridays, but, so, challenges like that, trying to get it in. And I get it, at the end, that last week where we had some snow and we got to have our senior night. We understand that.
Sure.
And being an athletic director, I know what it was like if you didn't have senior night. But you can't play on Tuesday. and it changed a little bit. We got lucky with some of the districts in St. Louis at least didn't play on Saturday.
Right.
That would be us.
So
That would be us.
So that opened up an opportunity for some of the large schools to have a makeup game on Friday night to get their senior days in or get their senior nights in.
Yeah.
So, so we got lucky there a little bit because I went from the only game I had on that Friday at the start of the year till about the third week in February was the Vashon-Webster game. Only game in town. By the end of the night, it was, I had probably 10 games.
Wow.
So people were adding stuff to get stuff in.
Just to get it in.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we were scrambling around trying to add another game. Lost a game here and that. That last 2 weeks were rough.
Do you think the challenges with you having those 65 schools trying to incorporate, when you got officials that maybe are going to places that maybe you don't assign to, and maybe they don't put in that they're not available, and then something like that happens?
Absolutely. I mean, there's one other primary basketball assigner in St. Louis, the IBO Association, Greg Ransom. And then there's an individual, Brad Mitchell, who handles St. Clair, Sullivan, Union, that way. And believe it or not, we all kind of work together. But we're also all competing for guys too.
Yeah.
Trying to cover our bases and take care of our schools. So there's times where I got a phone call somewhere in that last week, and Greg Ransom, who handles the St. Charles schools, he called me. He works really early in the morning because he actually has a real full-time job as opposed to what I do. And he always works like at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. So he called me, and it was on a Tuesday, and I figured I missed the phone call. I was out with my dogs or something, and I called him back, and I go, I figured you needed somebody, so I was calling you to tell you I got nobody. Well, that's not really what he needed, but we talked, and it was a situation, and where if I had somebody open, I would send them to him. If he had somebody, and we have guys that work for both of us as well. So it collectively, we made it through COVID in trying to get things done. We shared some guys in football that worked for both of us. Where I had a 4 o'clock game at one of the Hazelwoods on the varsity side that was normally scheduled. And he needed somebody. He needed one of my guys, so he got his game time pushed back to 7:30. And this guy went from the Hazelwood game, whichever one it was, to a school in St. Charles County because he was short of officials as well. Wow. So it takes a little bit of work on our part with the other assigners to make things work as well.
I think during your tournament, I think Charles had to do that. He reffed one of the early games, and you at Herky, and then went down and I think did the Farmington North County game in that same day.
Might have, I don't know.
And there's a lot of guys that do that.
There's a lot.
James like, I don't know, I didn't pay attention.
But I didn't have.
And there's a lot of that too. As we got down, I could say, guys, you can play if you have to play on a Tuesday. You can play on Tuesday, but you're going to play at 4:30. You're going to play your varsity game first at 4:30, so I can get those 3 guys from somewhere else.
Right.
So there's a lot of sharing, and sometimes I'll get people, you'll have an athletic say, I'll take anybody. Well, anybody's not available to work. I mean,
it's easier said than
we
done.
don't care who it is. There's nobody to work.
So that kind of leads into the next question. How do you assign officials? I mean, if you're a veteran guy, do you get the first pick, or do you try to kind of put older guys with younger guys or newer guys? I mean, just kind of go.
It's a little bit of everything. The veterans, with the way your little question, the veterans don't really get to pick where they go. I mean, the way I do this in general is I put everything in the system. I typically do the holiday tournaments first. I do the bigger tournaments next, and then once that's done, then I'll start working through the front end of the season to the back end of the season. You try to look at certain days. I mentioned the Vashon-Webster game. That game's going to get loaded up with 3 guys that can handle the Vashon-Webster game. There's other games where, it may be a stronger team against that's. You try to look at past history, to put guys on there. Certain games are going to be really tough, and certain games aren't, and you just try to kind of place them as you go. But yeah, I do try to put younger guys at times with veterans. Jeremy Eisman's a name that's familiar with down here, and he's had a really good start to what he's doing. And there were times where I might put him with two really strong veteran guys on maybe a little tougher ball game than maybe he wasn't ready for, but an opportunity to get him through and in front of a solid non-conference game.
You bring him up, and the best officiated game I had this year was one that he was on it.
Yeah, and there were also times he was, he went from being the U2 or the umpire 2 on the game, and there were times when he was the referee and he was in charge.
He did a great job on ours. It was our Saxon game. Him, Mike Beckman, and another young guy. It was. They did a really good job.
We had some young guys, but they were SIBO referees. One guy, when we went to St. Vincent, I just wanted to throw that out there because I know Bruce is watching. But that one guy was really good, the young guy, yeah. And then we had Al McFerrin, and Al might be a little past his prime, but I thought him and Rick Heisel did a good job. And the other guy, the young guy, I couldn't tell you his name. I had to go back and look. But it's probably our most solid group of guys we had. Yeah. I don't know if Bruce, agrees, but that's okay.
Coach,
go down to Perryville.
Coach Spool says that he will take the assistant to your job whenever you're ready. I said, boy, you should be focusing on a state championship semifinal game tomorrow.
Why is he watching this? He should be watching film.
I was going to say, he probably has like 10 assistants like Blair. You don't have to watch film.
That's true.
Delegate.
He does.
And apparently my daughter's watching instead of being in bed, so, hi, Pumpkin, go to bed. Anyway. Go ahead. What
we got?
Who's next?
Go to the next.
Well,
Go ahead.
So you're talking about officiating, veteran guys trying to. How do you go about maybe the assessment of officials? Are you a part of that? Because I'll speak since I'm not the head coach at the table here.
You also are affiliated with another.
But no. So we, over the years, we put in our evaluations. We go through all of the time that it takes for us as head coaches to go through that evaluation process.
Well, and you get fined, don't you, Blair, if you don't get it in on time?
Sure do.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you knew that.
Yesterday was the deadline, too, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you have yours in? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
So for us as coaches, can you talk a little bit about what maybe the officials see or what you see or how that goes into your job assigning the different officials for the different games? Because we're going to get evaluated as coaches from our bosses. What happens with officials and the job that they have to do as head coaches? How does that get back to them? How does that affect you? How does that affect things going forward into the next season?
So one of the things that I also do, and in the questions you sent me earlier today, I don't, contrary to what a lot of people think, I do not work for Misha. I don't. I work closely with them. When you do what I did for 16 years, you make relationships with the people on their staff.
Sure.
I am one of the basketball observers for the area, for the St. Louis area. Mark Probst kept that position, as well as still being the rules interpreter. So he and I are out and about, seeing games, seeing people, writing game reports on those. So that's one way that the officials are evaluated. Now, there's two of us, and there on any given night, there's 40 varsity basketball games in St. Louis. So, it's tough for two of us to get around. I can tell you that during the pandemic, when I wasn't going, because my son was a senior last year, when I wasn't going to his games, it was great. When everybody went to live streaming, you could watch. We were evaluating officials from home. The problem we ran into that with is, two computer screens. I'm on Parkway South's YouTube page, and I'm on so-and-so's Misha TV page, and it's like you're channel surfing.
Yeah.
So I'd find myself, I'd watch parts of 6 or 8 games on any given night, but I never watched enough to get a full. I got an idea what certain guys can do, but maybe not that full in-depth evaluation. Kind of like I've been out
a walk-in observation.
I've been out in the year and a half, and I've already forgot. Like a walk-in evaluation versus
walkthroughs. That's what they are now.
Versus your long form summative evaluation. Yeah. So sort of like those. As being an observer, I have access to the database for all officials, so I see what their and probably tomorrow, soon, probably maybe not tomorrow, they probably won't roll them around that fast. I'll see where everybody fell, but all I see is their raw score. Now, I know the officials get to evaluate, when the coaches evaluate, you get the number, the 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then there's all the subcategories and areas of improvement. I don't see any of that. I just see their average score.
You were official, so what do you see as an official on that score? Like, so
when Jason gives 5s,
I've only given a 5 one time in my career, and that was this year. And but what does a referee see?
You see the subcategories, like, and there's all the different areas of improvement. Communication skills, fitness presentation, consistency. All you see the
so
sub-scores.
You see exactly
professionalism.
You see those sub-scores, but you don't see that in the St. Pius Herculaneum game. Jason Jarvis gave me whatever.
I always wondered that.
No,
and
you don't see the individual scores.
The only time they see that's
and
when you give
overall.
a 5, I'm guessing then, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So as far as that goes now, what
I've
do
only
you
done
have?
it once in my career, dude.
What do you have control of with postseason assigning?
So as an observer, I get to make recommendations for the state tournament,
Okay.
Final Four, and sectionals and quarterfinals. I have 0 input or recommendations on a district tournament.
Okay.
So I'll turn in a list of, I'm going to screw the number up here, but we get to turn in, I think it's 24 people for beyond districts.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll turn those in and we'll designate so and so's. These are my 6 Final Four recommendations for the year, and these are my 18 or 16 other postseason recommendations. You talk about the ratings and where that goes in. Anybody that worked last weekend or this weekend in the Final Four, they are a first quartile official. If you are not in the first quartile, you won't work the state tournament. You won't work the Final Four. Okay. If you're in the second quartile, you'll get some level of should get some level of a playoff game. Once you drop below that second quartile, you won't get a playoff game. So the ratings from that standpoint impact what postseason assignments that they're eligible for.
see, I've never known that.
Yeah.
I've done this for 17 years now.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
So then districts is all based on whoever the head of that district is, and then what the coaches and everybody put in
pool,
for that. I guess
right?
the pool.
So
and then they come and draft.
So you turn your recommendations in, and basically what the district basketball draft is, you've all been to a fantasy football draft.
Yeah, it's basically
This is exactly what it is. And I heard you guys talk a couple weeks ago. We don't see anybody that we recommended, and if you're hosting I'll try to explain it from how if I was hosting a district, I may be lucky if I'm playing on a night where there's 10 districts playing and it's a semifinal night, so that's 20 games. Okay, that's 60 officials. So let's say I get lucky and I pull card number 1 and I get the first pick. I can have whoever I want. Okay, so I've got Pius versus Jefferson and Herky versus Crystal City. Now, if I'm doing it right as an athletic director, I kind of got an idea who's going to be playing when. You don't know. The draft is in January, at the end of January. It's the last Saturday in January, so it's before everything kind of flushes out as far as the bracket's concerned. But I kind of got an idea. So I'm going, okay, so these are who are probably going to be my Final Four of my district, so I need to try to get as many people as I can. Me personally, when I did it, if I had my list, we talked about Charles Underwood earlier before we went on. If Charles Underwood's been recommended by 5 schools, he's going to be at the top of my list, okay? However that works out. So I draft 1, okay? I take Charles Underwood for my district, okay? I don't have to decide who I'm going to put him on what game. But now that goes down to 10. 10 drafts 11. My next pick is 20.
Yeah.
So there's a good chance that out of
all the people we recommended,
all the people you recommended are gone. Because the other thing is you all want these guys. Well, so does the district up north, and so does the district down south. So that's kind of where I sort of, now in my new role, that's where I factor in, because after you get past about the third round on that, guys are out of names.
Yes.
So now they're like, okay, I can't tell them who to take.
Who do you recommend? Kind of thing.
I'm looking, and I'm okay. You need names. Here's 4 names. Okay, and depending on if it's one of my schools, it's drafting. I can say, okay, well, so and so's been to your school, or you. I'm weird that I kind of know who's worked where, even though I don't have it in front of me. I can say, okay, he worked your game against Park Hills, or at least trigger something so that if they don't know who they is, at least by name,
Right.
there may be a little bit of that facial recognition. Or you say, hey, Rick Bowen's hanging out there, and no, he may not be on your list, but Rick Bowen's been to the Final Four and worked 2 state championship games. There's a little bit of that suggestion process that goes along.
So, I mean, my question is then, and I get it. I understand that whole process probably a lot better now than what I did before.
Sure, yeah, for sure.
But at the end of the day, then, I mean, why do we have to put all these recommendations in? Because there's going to be, number one, there's going to be a chance that we're not going to get any of them.
Sounds like a pretty
a very
pretty
high chance. I might get one this year. We didn't
Last
get. I
2
didn't.
years.
I'm going to say I don't know how many. I got to think back. I haven't got any. I'll tell you, the district championship game at Herculaneum was the last time I've had, and might have been one of the few times I've had guys.
It's a good thing you had good guys on that one too,
Yes,
because that
they have
came
a
right to
good-
the end.
Good stinking crew. There's no doubt about it. But I haven't. We've played in the district up north last 2 years. Obviously, last year had different rules with how the games work. I don't get guys, and this year I didn't get anybody that I wanted. So
Well, and one of the things that schools in Jefferson County sort of have to deal with as well is you're in a district. You were in St. Louis.
I was down in
other
St.
schools
Louis.
are south. There's a St. Louis draft. There's a SEMO draft.
They don't go to the
And the opportunity is there, and I don't know who went to everything, but the opportunity is like the Class 6 district that was at SLU this year. They've got Poplar Bluff and Jackson in their district. So they'll pick one person for each game from that district, or from that draft, I'm sorry. So there's at least a face. It may not be. So it's like the flip side. In southeast Missouri, there's only 3 or 4 Class 5 and 6 schools, or 5 and 6 districts. So there's all kinds of guys available that week. You flip it around, in St. Louis, there's only 4 up here. Well, the other guys from Jefferson County, they go put in for the draft in southeast Missouri, so they're not even on your list to get drafted.
Yes.
yeah, and I think that's the frustrating part for me is I've got to fill out my district entries and put, for whatever freaking reason, I got to put the weight of the kids or something on the Misha site. I don't know the weight of my kids. I make it up every year. They weigh 160 pounds, every one of them. You give a damn. Even the biggest, fattest kid I have to the skinniest kid I have, 160 pounds. And then at the same time,
I actually put in the weights, but whatever.
well, I know that, and it's not like it's on the program, so whatever. And then you turn around, you have to do the district entries, and I'm never going to get these guys. And now, even that part of it, knowing that if I'm in Jefferson County, that everybody that I have is going to go here or there.
And the other thing you're fighting too in your situation, I still had 3 solid nights of Class 4, 5, and 6 basketball.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
there were guys already working games, and once they take games, for me, ideally they shouldn't be released for they've got to make a decision. If they take a game for me on Tuesday when it comes time to fill out their postseason application, they're supposed to check off that they're not available. So that's the other thing that, guys are they're taking the guarantee, because there's no guarantee they're going to get drafted.
Right.
So they're going to take the Tuesday night.
So my regular season game in Class 4 is going to be they're gonna get that game for sure.
Yeah.
So
That's a confirmed game for 'em.
and like that week I got to the point. Guys, I was trying to give them games like, oh, it's district week, and these are guys in St. Louis that you probably wouldn't normally see, but I'm like, fellas, and I finally had to send an email to them like, guys, look, there's 6 games in St. Louis in the class 1, 2, and 3 districts. It's a girls' night. You're a varsity-only boys official. We know that. I've got slots to fill. You're not going to – if they draft you, you're not going to take the game. So just take this game from me because it's a guaranteed game.
Yeah.
So, it takes a little bit of time. And it's going to change a little bit next year too. I've heard you guys talk about playing on Saturday, not playing on Saturday, whatever. And I don't know what the exact days are, but I know they're going next year to the girls are going to be 3 days of districts, and boys are going to be the others. Mm-hmm. I don't know exactly how that's going to look, but that's going to cut down. Like, the Saturday that we had,
Well, dude, I played Saturday and then turned around and played Monday.
So the Saturday we had
2 years in a row.
So I think the way the system's going to be set up, it's going to be Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday for one gender, and then Monday, Wednesday, Friday for the other. Okay. Don't know which ones it are.
So basically, what I'm hearing is that there's a shortage of officials.
It really has nothing to. It doesn't. I don't know that that's Mish's intent for that. But the problem we run into is when you play everything on Saturday. We had probably 130 slots that needed to be filled on Saturday.
Wow.
That's in St. Louis, Class 4, 5, and 6. There were a couple finals on Saturday, and 1, 2, and 3.
So they need to be.
Then you take the guys who work. You take the guys who work college basketball. You take them out of the mix.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it was kind of at the end. It was a challenge to get games covered.
Right.
So I think that's the one good thing that's coming out of this next year. That if they go gender-specific dates, that at least on that Saturday and that Monday, you're cutting your number of games in half, and you're going to have a deeper pool of officials on those days.
Like with our districts, I thought it was going to flip-flop so that the boys would, because last year, but it didn't.
I think it could, well, now that the districts change every year, it's kind of hard to do that because you don't have a 2-year cycle where you say, we're going to do this. Yeah, but I'm saying is you have it makes it a little bit more.
Because it used to be.
Does that make it difficult for you too?
It used to be you picked when the district assignments came out, you picked on a 2-year cycle on who was going to host.
Yes.
It wasn't this waiting to getting the.
Does that make it more difficult that Michigan does it that way instead of? I would rather have it that I know I'm in this district for 2 years, so I can schedule these people to play before districts.
Well, and I think that gets into the whole, when they went to the success factor, that your schools are going, your private schools are going to fluctuate a little bit, so they can't just lock you into it for 2 years when somebody who's on the bubble may bump up or drop down.
Right. It could just put the championship factor with both public and private.
Well,
but private gets to pick their kids.
Do they though?
Yes.
Boy, I'll tell you what. I got some kids that
I'm going to tell you some transfers if you want to talk.
And before we go to break, Coach Ron Rhodes wants to know if you can please make officials put their pictures on the Misha ratings page.
Oh,
please,
yeah, that
please,
makes it easier, yeah.
Because Coach Rhodes can't read or what's a number.
Well, sometimes you see a name. If you go down south and you have 3 guys, you don't know any of them, and then you get in to put in their ratings, you're like, well, is that dude or that dude? I don't know which dude that is.
How about a stamp that's legible to get their name and number, their ID number?
I like the guys who stamps or stickers. It's the guys
stamps or stickers.
Who write, and you're going, is that a 7 or a 2 or a 9er? Is there a 9er in there?
I think we're showing our age with all that, but yes.
Well, let's take a break, and when we come back, let's talk a little bit about the official shortage around the state with all the different sports that we have, and kind of get.
That's Miller's fault.
I'm perfectly nice to all officials.
So you're watching the Coach's Box. We'll be back.
Whether it's residential or commercial, Home by SMCI has the right products for you. Global Plasma Solutions will attack your bacteria, mold, viruses, and even help with dust in your house. They install easily in less than 45 minutes, and it's invaluable for the rest of your life. If you're interested in any of the products they offer, give Home by SMCI a call today at 636-337-4444 or email them at service@homebysmci.com.
Wiley Agencies has 2 locations in Festus and Hillsborough to serve you. We offer home, auto, boat, motorcycle, business, life insurance, investments, and much more. We offer a customized approach unique to your situation to make sure you, your family, and assets are properly protected. We also offer great rates and savings. Give us a call today at 636-764-6294 for the Festus office or 636-333-9903 for the Hillsborough office to do an insurance review or just talk sports. If you don't have time to call, feel free to email Sean at SeanWiley@allstate.com.
Are you worried about planning for your financial future? Turn to the expert with 29 years of experience and give Brian Waits a call today. Brian Waits at Waits Financial Services specializes in investments, life insurance, retirement plans, tax planning, and even 401k rollovers. For more information, or if you just want to get a quote, call Brian at 314-374-6713 or email him at bwaits@woodburyfinancial.net. Emex Transportation is a proud sponsor of the Coach's Box. Emex, the trucking company of small businesses. Roses are red, violets are blue. Whether you're buying or selling a home, let Kelly Kaufman move you. Kelly Kaufman of Real Living Gateway Real Estate brings a fresh approach with an honest, innovative, aggressive, and junk-free fee experience for all her customers. Whether you're a first-time buyer or experienced seller, Kelly Kaufman has the tools to deliver the best client experience in the industry. Give Kelly a call today at 314-221-6090 and let her move you today. Are you looking to buy or sell a home? If so, contact Stacy Miller at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. Stacy works with first-time home buyers and even savvy sellers. She also specializes in working with investors, lenders, and title companies. Stacy will be there every step of the way. Contact her today at 314-606-1007 or visit stacyzmiller.com.
All right, well, we're back. It's a nice little commercial break.
Yeah. Pay the bills.
Pay the bills. I want to thank our sponsors for sponsoring the show. We've got a lot of them. We can always use more.
Yeah.
Put your commercial out there, help you out. Sponsorship's pretty inexpensive. We like to
Great. There's a great value.
There's a lot of great value when it comes to it. We want to make sure that we help all of our small businesses with and any of our local businesses promote and do everything we can to make sure that they get as much business during these tough times with inflation, stagflation, gas prices.
Not great.
$99.01 to fill up my truck the other day.
It was $74 to fill up from half tank in my diesel truck, and I'm really hating it.
That's kind
I could go for some mean tweets right now.
Yeah, well, Zach, that kind of sounds very political.
Not at all. I'm just saying.
I think we want to.
Would you rather have high gas prices or mean tweets?
Oh, hell, I want some mean tweets because I don't care about your feelings right now.
No.
Hey, Josh,
But
I'm the worst.
Josh Rule said we all have great value. Maybe we'll get him commenting some more here tonight.
Hopefully he has a chance to play for a state title. That's what I'll.
Good
rooting
luck
for
to
him.
him.
Yeah,
Good luck.
go get it done.
Yeah.
Got
Get
a
her
tough
done.
matchup with Whitfield.
Has he been watching game film?
I'm sure he's probably watched a ton on Whitfield already.
No, he's got assistants to do that, right?
Coach Blossom and Coach Stahlcup are doing that for him right now.
I promise you they are.
Don't forget about Coach Werner. He definitely. That's probably what he's doing for sure.
He's probably getting ready to have a baby. His wife's getting ready to have a baby any day. So
Do they play tomorrow or they play Friday?
Friday.
Okay.
think
Yeah,
they
because
pick-
Class 6 is tomorrow.
See,
that's right.
That's awesome. He's having a baby during basketball season during playoffs. I had mine in the beginning, so yeah,
Smart.
It was an interesting year.
It was good
All
planning.
planning. Yes.
It was faulty planning. I'll talk about that after.
Coach School says, "How can I watch film when this show is on?" It's very simple. You turn us off and you watch film.
Hey, good point. We are pure entertainment some days.
Sometimes
some
we are.
days. Hey, a couple weeks ago, Riley was pure entertainment.
That's what I'm hearing.
I was.
Yeah,
I was
buddy.
enjoying myself.
Buddy,
Thank you.
Well, they ain't gonna let you live that down.
That's all right. 'cause
there's
I
a
don't
lot of things we're not gonna let him live down on this
Because that
show,
doesn't happen very often, I tell you that.
like your geography lessons,
I do know that.
music knowledge.
My music knowledge. Good deal. So let's go ahead
move
and,
on.
Well, we get emails pretty much every other day, whether it's from Misha, whether it's from NFHS, and they're talking about the coaching shortage situation. And it sounds like it's not just Missouri. It sounds like it,
Coaching shortage.
or officials shortage.
I didn't.
Yeah,
that
wait.
too.
We have a coach's shortage too.
That too, but
No,
officials.
Blair doesn't.
Blair's got them all. Wait, hey, are you creating supply and demand? Is there a supply shortage of coaches because of you?
no.
No comment.
No comment.
No.
Hey, I always put out the Misha thing, become
Yeah,
official.
you have.
And I want to send it to some Herky fans. Become an official.
What have you seen over the years? I mean, is it an epidemic? Are we getting to the point where we're getting close to a point of no return that we could maybe say either in our lifetime or in the not too distant future that sports are done, high school athletics
We'll
are
get
done?
robo-refs.
I don't know that we'll be done, but I think you're going to see a dramatic shift in how things are scheduled, or how they're staffed with games. One of the things, and this is a very Jefferson County specific situation, but one of the reasons I wanted to come on, I need volleyball officials in this area.
Zach.
And
Don't lose much.
last year was a strange year for me in volleyball. I lost from July 1st to 1st of October. I lost eight varsity officials for different reasons: car accident, health issues, family health issues. Somebody took a head coaching job, and of those 7 or 8 officials, there was like 150 assignments out of that.
Wow.
So, you start shuffling people around and covering stuff, and in St. Louis for volleyball, they play splits. They play 3 levels, so you play the freshman in one gym, the JV in another gym at the same time, and everybody comes together and plays the last one. So you can do single games at the lower level, just not at the varsity level. So there were times down here, I'd lose somebody. Okay, well, the Crystal City Jefferson junior high game is now going to go to a 1 official game because I'm taking somebody from there at 8 o'clock in the morning and putting them on a varsity game at Festus because that's what we got to do.
Wow.
So situations like that, I think the other thing that it's not a big a deal in Jefferson County as much as it is in St. Louis County, or game times. Everything down here is 5 o'clock, 5:30, 7. There's a little bit of the 4:30 stuff down here, and we're able to make it work. But 4:15 games are tough. I mean, people are working later. They don't have the ability. There's not as many teachers that are officiating like maybe it used to be. The people who can make 4 o'clock games are either in sales or they're retired. So, that makes it a little bit of a challenge at times. And I think we'll have to look at those options are coming where, we're going to have to push game times back. And that creates a whole nother laundry list of challenges. What do you do with your kids? You get out at 2:30 or 2:20 in St. Louis County. What do you do with your kids till 5 o'clock?
Just let them run around and do crazy stuff. That's what I would.
Do what we've had to do down here.
That's
Watch
true.
them.
Yeah, it's supervision.
Hello.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of challenges there. So I think we're, I don't know that we're at the point where we're going to start. We did have to cancel games. I had a situation this year in volleyball. Back to my I was telling you about earlier. Spent 3 hours trying to juggle things, and it's like a Jenga game or whatever. You're trying to make all this work, and I figured out that a guy who was working lower level football was also a first-year volleyball official. I'm like, well, I can cover his football game, so I took him off the football game, put him on the lower level volleyball game to take somebody off the lower level volleyball game to put him on the varsity volleyball game.
Sounds like a lot of work. Wow.
So I spent.
Sounds like I could never do your job.
I spend, you spend 2.5 hours staring at your computer trying to figure out how to make all this work and texting people and trying to get a hold of them. Everything's done. We're good. I got nothing left. I've talked to another volleyball assigner. He's tapped out on what he's got. Guy emails me and says, hey, I hate to do this, but my wife's been in the hospital for 5 days. She's getting out of the hospital tomorrow. I can't work. I got nothing.
Yeah.
So then I got to pick up the phone that night and call the athletic director, and happened to be a Parkway school, and said, hey, guys, I got nothing. And it was Parkway West pink game the next day.
Oh goodness.
So, you hate it. But, knock on wood, I really only had to do that one time in volleyball this year. But that's just, baseball's gotten that way. Lower level soccer's gotten that way. It's coming, which is why we need to get more people. And I say young. I mean, the average age of officials now is 55, 56 years old.
Wow.
Your average age, your young first-time officials are 40-something. They're not like I was 28 years ago coming out of college or in college wanting to do it. The Jeremy Eisen, they're out there, but there's not 50 of them coming in to do it.
No.
Tell me the why. I mean, we've got our guesses, but I mean, do you hear from? And it could be a football, it could be a basketball, it could be different sports. I mean, what are you hearing from the officials that are saying, "Hey, I'm done"?
What I heard it was Jason Jarvis.
And
One technical, bro.
my theory is the easy fallback answer is it's the parents, it's the coaches, it's the people who are crazy. And there's some truth to that. I really think there is. But I don't know that people are any crazier now than they were 30, 40 years ago. But the problem is, I think there's two things. This is just Pat Burns' opinion with no scientific evidence behind it. There's way too many games played, especially at the youth level, in my opinion. And because of that, it's great. I assign a rec league for the Park Rock Community Ed. 100 games every Saturday. CNR runs 600 games. There were a couple weekends where they were running 600 games on a Saturday and Sunday combined. Wow. CYC, I never got a real close number, but I'm going to say in the St. Louis CYC, there's probably 250 to 300 games played. So there's 1,000 youth basketball games played on any given weekend into January. Okay? So...
And that's in the St. Louis area.
Somebody's got to work those games, okay? And I'm as guilty of it. There are times, you want a referee, you got a whistle, you got a shirt, You've played basketball. Here, you're going to go work this third grade boys game because you've got a clue. You haven't been trained. Guilty. Okay, but that's happening in a lot of places, and then there ends up being a bad experience. Okay, and it happens higher up. At the 7th and 8th grade levels, at wherever you want to be, and where people have gotten the perception that I do think it's worse, but I think it's magnified by what we're all sitting here with in our hands while this is going on. 40 years ago, when I watched when I was playing a YMCA game at the old Hillsboro Junior High with the tile floor and the stage.
Oh,
They don't
yeah.
use it anymore.
Oh, yeah.
I watched a guy who was 8 years old push a guy off the stage. A parent pushed the referee off the stage because our team won. It was pretty big deal for 8th grade basketball or 8-year-old basketball, wherever it was.
Wow.
Guy pushed a guy off the stage there. Okay? If that happened today, what would have happened? There'd been 7 people with their phones on it, and it'd been on Twitter and YouTube and wherever in 30 minutes. So I think there's the craziness is out there,
Right.
but I think it's magnified because of the society that we live in right now,
So-
which then turns around. Oh well, God, parents are crazy, kids are crazy, coaches are crazy, and knock on. I mean, there's been situations where the officials retaliated,
Sure.
And I can't say that a situation. I don't necessarily blame them. When you don't know how you're going to react when you get backed into that corner and someone's charging you. So, but hell, it goes on Twitter or Facebook or wherever, and now it's a problem. So
Blasted.
I think that just perpetuated. I think
Sure.
the negative connotation that bad things are out there.
So you say you need volleyball officials. So if someone's watching and they want to know what they would make as a lower level volleyball official, how would they find that information out?
So interesting you bring that up. The St. Louis Athletic Directors Officials Committee just approved the pay scale for the next 3 years. And kudos to Brian Kessler of Parkway West who chaired the committee. The committee's got representatives from every conference in the St. Louis area, public, private, from Jefferson County through St. Charles County. And the committee, identifying a lot of things and trying to improve things for officials was pay. So I'm going to butcher these numbers because the pay scale is literally brand new as of about 2 days ago. You could make anywhere from $80 a night at the junior high level for it's going to be $40 a game for volleyball or basketball the next 3 years. Lower level basketball for a single is going to be $63 a game. A varsity basketball official is jumping from $77 to $88 per game for a 3-man crew. Volleyball is going, we play a lot of 3 straights down here in Jefferson County at the varsity level. So if you do a freshman JV varsity, it's going to be $170 a night. Even the JV varsities, Pius just has the 2 levels. I think it's going to be $137. So you're looking at there's opportunities to 1, make money, 2, to stay involved with athletics at some level.
Sure.
Give back to your community. I mean, no one does it for free.
Yeah.
I mean,
Nope.
But it's kind of like guys with coaching. You don't make necessarily everything that you put into it time-wise, but there's an opportunity to stay involved, make some money. I mean,
And not be gone all days and nights.
Yeah. So, there's opportunities in, the sports that I focus on. There's other, baseball, softball down here has gone to a new assigner as of this spring. Bill Buchanan, who works out of the St. Louis area, the wrestling assigner, Pete Mankiewicz, that I work closely with. Denny Barbero does soccer. Denny Barbero does soccer for about 135 schools.
Wow, that's incredible.
On the boys and girls side. So,
It's a lot of running.
yeah, I mean, they cover all this area. So we've talked a lot of basketball this evening, but I'd say, hey, if you're a soccer person and you're wanting to work and you live in Jefferson County, there's opportunities
Pat,
for
we're
you.
going to have to cut you off because we don't talk about soccer on this show.
Okay, how about
Cue the music.
I mean, I just got to throw it out there. With all due respect.
If you're a wrestling official,
I'm just kidding.
I think every school in Jefferson County now, with the exception of, maybe Crystal City and Grandview, offer wrestling in this conference now. So if there's a sport you're interested in and you're checking in on this, there's an opportunity for you at some level, somewhere, somehow.
Dude, I need to do baseball.
No. You need to do volleyball, apparently, because you can make more money doing volleyball than Instacart, DoorDash, amount of
Dude,
time.
I can't. I'm coaching football. I can't do volleyball.
It's...
So
Crunch the numbers.
Dude, virtually.
my big question with the shortage of officials. So in your eyes, and especially in our area, volleyball is probably the key area needed more officials in.
Well, and lower level football too. Varsity football, we make work. Varsity football is unique in that it's one night a week. Lower level football is a couple nights a week. But if you want to referee, it doesn't matter what the sport is. We'll find you a place to go.
Sure.
I mean, it's.
Well, there's guys doing this. That's all they're doing right now. Isn't there some guys that all they do is ref?
There's some, but you can't make, unless you're working Division I basketball or working at the professional level, you're not going to make a living off this. And there are some people, but honestly, that officiating is a big part of their. It may not be their primary, but it's a huge secondary income for them for whatever reason. So, if a person wants to work, it doesn't matter what the sport is, and we'll throw soccer in there, Chris. If somebody wants to work in a sport, we'll find a place for you.
Yeah.
Whether it's me or one of the other assigners.
So do you say if you want to become an official for volleyball or soccer or baseball or whatever, how do you go about getting involved in getting to the classes?
And now's the perfect time because, we're wrapping up the year for the most part. I realize spring sports are going on. But, we're kind of that part of time where we're starting to plan for next year. So the MISHA registration window opens May 1st for 22-23. So now's the time to start thinking about it. And what I would encourage anybody to do, and I share that.
And I just threw it up over Jason's face
Okay.
on there so that way everybody can see it.
So notice, once again, you didn't pick a pious guy. You picked a Herky guy.
Well, it's because Pat's talking. He's the guest. Deal with it. It's fine.
So what I would encourage is if you've got an interest, and the contact information is there, reach out to the whatever sport you're interested in and find out a little bit about it. I got some people, hey, I want to referee basketball. Well, you're going to have to start out at the lower level. Well, you need to be able to work at 4:15 for the most part. Or lower level football, they'll start. Well, I can't work till 6 o'clock. Well, immediately that shrinks down their availability to work, which goes back to what we talked about earlier. Starts at game times. But, well, I want to referee, but I can only referee on Wednesday nights after 6 o'clock. Well, that sort of restricts your ability to work.
Right.
So, have that conversation with the assigner to find out the ins and outs and the wins and the whys of what it is. And then, hey, I think I can make this work. I'm going to go register. And then that's when I would go to the MISHA website, get registered. It's you pay your registration fee. It's $50. They'll send you the rule book. The test is all done online. The questions are true, false, similar to what you guys do when you take your Part 2 test. Mm-hmm. And then once you get that, when you get registered, then I'd go back to the assigner and say, hey, Pat, I'm good for football or I'm good for whatever. And then from that point, I would send a new official to one of the associations that is listed. And all the associations, those are the ones that I work primarily with, either through my sports or the assigners that I deal with. And they do the training. I don't really do the specific training of sports, of any of the sports that I work with. But the associations would then do the training to get people ready to start working.
Right. I saw him this summer when Dylan was playing in some AAU tournaments, and they were doing a big one up there at the St. Louis Center.
Yeah,
like
that's
a huge
that's,
one.
So that's the one. Jerry Pollard, who's a Division I basketball official out of the St. Louis area, and he's the college assigner that I worked for 20 whatever years at the JUCO and NAI level. And, he's actually working first round of the Division I of the NCAA in Portland this weekend.
Wow. Nice.
Because I saw Marler up there and several of the officials we get
so that's
throughout the year were up there.
That's a different type of piece of training. That's, Jerry's camp, while he's a college official and he has guys that are working the SEC tournament there as clinicians, but there's also guys like Paul Fitzwater, who's a small high school, small college type guy there as a clinician.
Mr. Fitz.
He's got a wide variety of type of people there. It's sort of the first path if you're interested in getting involved in college basketball, but it's also, there's guys, I went to Jerry's camp 20 years ago, and, all right, Pat, you're the school teacher. Here's the guy who's refereed 2 games in his life. He's on your crew now. Take care of him for the weekend. So there would be people on these games that are,
Wow.
They're learning on the fly. So that's his introductory level camp. But it's a great opportunity for someone to get involved who's looking to get going.
Hey, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna ask about a specific call that I think we all as coaches struggle with, and it's usually the one that will probably get me fired up. I can say that personally more than anything else.
I think this guy gets fired up too about.
And Rex Chapman has such a great
Yes,
thing on this.
fantastic. The block charge.
Yeah.
The block charge. Has it been the most difficult call for you personally, the officials that you kind of oversee and watch?
It's a tough call. It's a tough call. The challenge, I think, that officials, coaches, and players and fans maybe don't necessarily think is it's all what the defense is doing. From the standpoint of official, you referee the defense, and that's when I first was going through, that didn't make any sense to me, because I got to know what the guy with the ball's doing out here too, right?
Right.
But you got to know where if the defender is established legal guarding position, and that's the key, is being able to determine what legal guarding position is. And I think a lot of people, the common misnomer is you got to be set and your feet got to be planted to the floor, which isn't necessarily true. And there are officials that don't necessarily always understand that as well. But yeah, so much of that play is it's a kid charging hard to the basket, a kid's trying to, slide in there maybe at the last minute, and it's a tough call. It really is.
And I've always, by letter of the law, the legal guarding position, the vertical plane, all of that, and I'll have a kid, or even kids playing defense who's on the other team. He's not got legal guarding position, but my kid goes to the basket hard, ducks down a little bit. Oh, coach, he ducked his shoulder. It's a charge. But that kid wasn't in a position to be legally guarding him. And I don't know. I like clarification. That's just me.
Sure.
And you're in the hot seat, so I figured it to be good.
Do you think that you'll ever see the circle in high school basketball?
That would help a lot. Yeah, put your microphone down.
I was eating, so I didn't want it to be.
We all saw it. Don't worry.
I thought the camera, I was blocked at the time.
Oh, no. We moved that a long time ago.
Back on.
Yeah. You were complaining.
It seems like rules from the collegiate level tend to trickle down. Might it happen someday? Maybe. That's been in place. That's been in place in college basketball for 8-10 years,
Yeah, probably.
and it hasn't made it down yet. So that maybe makes me think that it's not coming. But you never know.
Leading into things that
We could put some blue painter tape.
leading
Can
into
we
some
do that?
things that are coming or not coming. What is your feelings on the shot clock, and how does that change your job as an official, assigning all these officials, and It's almost impossible to do a game with 2 officials if you have a shot clock, right?
Yeah. I mean, I unless it's an extreme circumstance, I've never officiated a game with a shot clock with only 2 people. So yeah, a 2-person game with a shot clock would put a lot of stress on the trail official throughout the game, I feel like. I have mixed thoughts.
Because that's been a big debate. I mean, we're all on, head coaches are all on this huge email thing.
Yeah, we had this email chain
Someone
that
just
someone
emailed
started
the other day, and I mean, I have a lot against, and then I look at I'm for that, but I was just curious as a signer, how much harder would that make it your job? I mean,
Up front, not a lot. I mean, I'm still going to put people on games and we're going to go. I think of there's a lot of different ways for me to think of it because I've got 3 different hats that I've kind of experienced. Do I think it's coming? Yes. Whether it's next year, well, it won't be next year, but if it's 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 4 years from now, I think it's coming. I feel like as an official, I remember working games and you'd be somewhere in the work study kid from the baseball team is sitting there doing the shot clock because they're has to. Mm-hmm. And you walk over to him in pregame, and you're like, all right, so you kind of going through a checklist of things with him, and he's like, that's the first time I've ever done it. Great. So so you spend all that time babysitting resets and
well, that's what I mean.
It's a challenge.
As a small school where we struggle to get people to work the clock, the gate, and all that.
Jarvis,
I can't imagine.
you guys are not a small school anymore. You guys are a large.
We have 400.
You're a
we have
large
less
school
than 500
disguised
students.
as a small school.
Less than 500 students, bro.
And going from the
480.
and going from the official side of it to the athletic director side of it, I worry about the same things. Who's going to run it? I got a question from an email from the guy Brad Mitchell, who I talked about earlier, is one of the assigners. He's on the officials advisor committee. They meet just like the other advisor committees do at the end of the season, and he's like, anything. And I'm like, here's my deal. It's coming. I said, I want to know what the plan is for how we're going to prepare for this in terms of training. Or is it just going to be
Fly by the seat of your pants.
install the clocks and figure it out. I think that would be I think that would be a challenge leading into my new role, because there's nothing worse than a shot clock issue, especially at the end of the game, where something goes haywire and it truly impacts the end of a game.
Or this is
But it's coming.
It's coming. It's coming. And I've had some coaches tell me I don't know if I put it on Facebook or I emailed someone. I'm like, just talk me through this. And there were some, and I don't remember what they are now, but there were some valid basketball reasons for why they thought it was a reason to go to it. Why
you look at me?
The Grandview Pius game. Go ahead.
The one that I don't buy, and this is probably wouldn't be popular in my larger schools in St. Louis. I don't buy the idea that it has to be done because we're preparing them to play at the next level. That's the one I don't get.
That's the one you keep hearing.
Tell me it's a strategy thing, whatever, But I also think that if you're a team that maybe is outsized or whatever, but you can handle the basketball and you can work a 45 or 50 second possession and score off of it, kind of like the old Princeton stuff.
New Haven.
Or flex.
New Haven.
That's a basketball skill as well. So
Right.
I mean,
I just had to ask about it.
Everyone can argue all that. Like I said, it's coming. And I worry that, and I don't really. There are smaller schools that you guys probably play and we deal with, and you get outside of the MAAA conference, and I worry about them being able to adequately staff it and
Right.
Paying for it. We just did a nice increase to officials, but now you're going to tack on another $30 or $40 a night for someone to run a shot clock.
Right.
You know, one, can you find that person? Two, can they do it adequately? And two, now you got to pay them.
Well, yeah, I
And
mean,
then three, you gotta train them on when it changes this
right.
and that. And then you
Absolutely.
also gotta look at, I mean, how long is it going to take for you to train someone where we're gonna have to stop the game, blow the whistle, we gotta reset that at this, reset that, so the game's gonna be lasting even longer because you're having to stop play so much to try to get it right, you know. And I think that's one of the things that I think are as a big negative about it is because of all of those things. I mean, I think those are more negative than skilled teams and vice versa, things that really need to be focused on.
Yeah, so that, I mean, to kind of answer the final piece of that, I can only imagine what, the first 3 weeks of the season are going to be like when it goes in and Pat this happened and Pat that happened and this happened and that happened. So that,
better you than me.
yeah, I'll deal with it on the back end after when things maybe don't necessarily go right.
Right. So, with that being said, before you go to a quick commercial break here, or we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, we have to. That's
Okay.
what the music means.
I know that's always.
And Blair was talking, so
It's only part of it now. All right, so when we come back, we'll into our last segment of the show, and I think it's been it's been informative for me. I mean, I never say I know everything about this game. I'm still trying to learn everything I can. So this has been great. I love it. So we come back, we'll talk some more. So we'll see you guys in a little bit. You've been watching the Coach's Box.
Whether it's residential or commercial, Home by SMCI has the right products for you. Global Plasma Solutions will attack your bacteria, mold, viruses, and even help with dust in your house. They install easily in less than 45 minutes, and it's invaluable for the rest of your life. If you're interested in any of the products they offer, give Home by SMCI a call today at 636-337-4444 or email them at service@homebysmci.com.
Wiley Agencies has 2 locations in Festus and Hillsborough to serve you. We offer home, auto, boat, motorcycle, business, life insurance, investments, and much more. We offer a customized approach unique to your situation to make sure you, your family, and assets are properly protected. We also offer great rates and savings. Give us a call today at 636-764-6294 for the Festus office or 636-333-9903 for the Hillsborough office to do an insurance review or just talk sports. If you don't have time to call, feel free to email Sean at SeanWiley@allstate.com.
Are you worried about planning for your financial future? Turn to the expert with 29 years of experience and give Brian Waits a call today. Brian Waits at Waits Financial Services specializes in investments, life insurance, retirement plans, tax planning, and even 401k rollovers. For more information, or if you just want to get a quote, call Brian at 314-374-6713 or email him at bwaits@woodburyfinancial.net. Emex Transportation is a proud sponsor of the Coach's Box. Emex, the trucking company of small businesses. Roses are red, violets are blue. Whether you're buying or selling a home, let Kelly Kaufman move you. Kelly Kaufman of Real Living Gateway Real Estate brings a fresh approach with an honest, innovative, aggressive, and junk-free fee experience for all her customers. Whether you're a first-time buyer or experienced seller, Kelly Kaufman has the tools to deliver the best client experience in the industry. Give Kelly a call today at 314-221-6090 and let her move you today. Are you looking to buy or sell a home? If so, contact Stacy Miller at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. Stacy works with first-time home buyers and even savvy sellers. She also specializes in working with investors, lenders, and title companies. Stacy will be there every step of the way. Contact her today at 314-606-1007 or visit stacyzmiller.com.
All right, we're back.
I mean, I wish we could put that out there. Just
that'd
raw
be great.
Jarvis out there, but we can't.
Well, I mean, we can.
Nope.
We can.
I work at a public school, bro.
Oh. Well, I won't tell you.
I'm retiring in 7 years.
There you
luck.
go.
Huh?
Good luck.
What do you mean, good luck? I mean,
Retiring from teaching or emos?
no. I mean,
Oh.
I got
Emos
seven.
is for life.
I got 7 years.
All right. Emos for life, baby.
I hope. I might go a little longer. I got the youngin, you know.
I don't know that we can any of us can retire at this point anymore.
Oh,
Oh, dude, I don't
I'm
plan
out
on doing
when
a
I'm
whole lot. I might work in emos. That's about it.
I can
you
see
could
you delivering DoorDash.
you could
my
probably
gosh, you
sub.
DoorDash is great.
You probably sub and then be an official and make just as much, if not more, than we would be teaching.
But he's got to get up in the stand to do the volleyball. I don't know, man. He's going to
By
get
then, I don't know.
older.
By then, I don't know if I'll be able to.
It's either you shaking or the net. I don't know which. I don't know if there was a
Just be the
net.
one.
There's so many things I want to say, but I'll save it for afterwards.
That's good. That's a good reason. That's good, Coach.
So,
I'd agree.
what do we got left
It's,
here?
it,
So
Blair's
but,
going.
Before we finish the show, first of all we want to thank Pat for coming on tonight, and
Yes.
I think it was very informative information. More importantly, for us as coaches, but I think as fans and spectators of the game, what it all entails to try to find officials, put them in places,
Yeah.
and what it all entails. Like
That's
it's not
not an
just
easy process.
no, it's not just like, hey,
just to
you're gonna
have the
official,
games.
you're gonna
Just
official
even
this game,
have
and
the
I'm
games.
just gonna figure it out. You know,
I just finished about 3 weeks ago the varsity football schedule for next year, and I mentioned it earlier. It's like a Jenga game or a house or a deck of cards or a house of cards, because football's no one really wants to see a team twice in a year unless it's like week 1 and week 9.
right?
So then you have to put everything in for week 1. Okay, so these guys are all here. And then week 2, you're all here. And then by the time you get to week 9, you got to go back and look. I'll shoot. So-and-so's crew had Kirkwood already. So you can one little
It's
screw.
almost impossible, though, right?
It can be done. My first year I wasn't as good with it as I was this year, I feel like. And my repeats were fewer this year. So, yeah, it's one of those things. It's not just a matter of slapping names on a piece of paper and making it happen. So there's a little bit of thought that goes to it.
There's math involved. I'm out.
Now, before we let you kind of give your last little hoorah here, I got a question. So does officials ask for you as far as an assigner? Did they say, hey, I would love to work this school's games because maybe I live 5 minutes from there?
I
If
don't
there's
want to
open-
do any of Jarvis's games
You
ever.
know, it's not as much as you'd
I don't
think.
know why you keep saying that to me, Zach, because I'm pretty sure you've annoyed plenty of officials.
Oh, I'm sure. Hey,
Couple times.
I don't get a lot of, hey, I want to work at so-and-so school. It's more, I don't want to work at so-and-so school.
Sure.
For whatever reason, sometimes it's, hey, my kid went to school there. I'm friends with the head coach, or,
I hate that dude.
there's some of that. You just need to keep me away from so-and-so, so it would be better. But yeah, I don't really get a lot of, but I do get some of the, and it's more at the lower level. Hey, I work at 44 and 270, and I live in Kirkwood, so if you need me to go to Webster, Kirkwood, whatever, for a 415, I can do that. I can help you out.
Right.
There's more of that than I got to go work at this school because they're good and I want to work their games.
So that's a lot of it. What it entails is, like you said, a guy gets off at 4 o'clock at 44 and 270, and hey, I've got openings at Kirkwood at 4:15 every day.
A guy could live in Festus, but if he gets off work at 4:30, he can't really work at 4:30 here. If he's going to work at 4:30, he's got to work in St. Louis to get to the game.
Right.
So there's, the old soccer assigner. He's long deceased. Don Hartong. He was one of the assigners when I first started. I mean, you could say, Don, where's Pat Burns work and where does he live? And I mean,
Knew it all.
He might have 400 guys, and he could tell you where he worked, what time he got off, and how far he could go to get to a game. Like it was crazy. I've got a little bit of that, but but there's times in my arbiter system, I see where they live, so it might say that it's 15 miles to wherever I'm trying to send them, but they may work 30 miles on the other side of where they live or where they're trying to go. So it doesn't always really help. It's kind of more where they're going to end up as opposed to where they're coming from.
Right. So do you find yourself filling in at any point in time?
No. No. And when I
So
quit,
you're done.
yeah, 4 years ago I worked my last high school game
Yeah, I remember
at
that.
state tournament, and then I worked one more year of college after that, and then I quit. The only basketball that I've worked, I mentioned that Park Rock Rec League that I do. I'm kind of like the super sub there, and I've probably super subbed more this year than I really wanted to. And part of it is I can go out and do a third or fourth or fifth grade boys game or girl, it doesn't matter. I can do it by myself, so I can send 2 other people to other places, and I can. But I've got a 10-year-old, 12-year-old playing club volleyball and basketball, and son playing college basketball. So it's. I love officiating. That's why I do what I do. But I don't want to be refereeing on Saturday.
Yeah.
So there were times I missed some games for my kids. And one of the reasons I got out of doing what I was doing because I wanted to be more engaged with what my kids are doing because I had missed so much when they were growing up when you're a athletic director working 60 hours a week.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Coach, I'll let you kind of finish off with anything you want to maybe add to the evening and what information you want to get out there to everybody.
Yeah, like I said earlier, I said if there's an interest and I grew up in Jefferson County, so a lot of my Facebook friends are Jefferson County people, and I see the good and I see the bad that this happened in this game or this guy was terrible or I see it all.
Sure.
Or I see a lot of it. There's an opportunity, and if you're a high school kid coming out who maybe isn't going to play at the college level, come on out. We'll find it doesn't matter what the sport is, and it may not be one of mine. We can get you involved. If you're a parent who's a perfect example and he doesn't work anymore, but Pat Bone sat at the front row of the Christmas tournament for however long Zac was playing in high school. I mean, Zac's 35 years old now. He's probably older than that. But Pat sat at the front row watching Zac play when Zac was in high school. When Zac got done playing, Pat got involved and started refereeing basketball and did a really good job for the 15, 20 years or so, whatever he did, working games. So if you're that parent, hey, my kid's done playing, everyone's gone, my kids are gone at college, there's a place for you as well.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's a place for literally everybody.
Are there golf officials? I'd like to be a golf official.
Man, ever since they quit took away the coaches being able to play at golf, that's kind of impacted that a little bit too.
I coach golf a little bit. Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, no.
Yeah,
it's
they
crazy.
don't let the coaches play though.
Yeah, they changed that. Oh, it's been a while, but yeah.
It's been about 8-9 years now.
So I'm not sure what Breeze does when he goes to golf practice every day.
Well, we got it up on the screen, and it again is covering Jarvis, so we should have more viewership now. But
and if you've got my contact information, if you're interested in baseball and you contact me, I'm happy to push you along to the next person. I mean, I know baseball, softball we talked about a little bit. Cody Mothersbaugh, who did a really good job with the baseball, softball people down there, he stepped away from the assigning. They went to Bill Buchanan. So he's still kind of going through the process of learning who people are. And I think, I don't know how many people they lost when Cody left, but, there's opportunities in that sport as well, in both of them. I mean, Chad Bradley at Park Hills yesterday, I was on a Zoom call with him. They play spring softball down there between junior high baseball, high school baseball, and spring softball. They can't find anybody to do their softball games. He's willing to get softball only people from South County to go down and work his games down there, and he's going to make it worth their while to come down.
Right.
So there's opportunities out there. There just are, and I'm blessed that I've made a career out of it. Not everyone gets to do that, but if I went through my phone, if I wasn't doing this job and I was probably still refereeing, I'd say 50% of the people on my phone or that I communicate with on a daily basis are people that I know through officiating.
Right.
And there's just it's a huge fraternity in a lot of ways, and a lot of lifelong friends that I've made. So, as lucky as I've been with the career aspect of it, I'm just as lucky with the people that I've met along the way.
And so we'll finish off. I'll ask you one question. What is the biggest highlight of your career, maybe as a coach, an official, or in the job you're in now? Maybe the biggest highlight.
As a coach, I was really lucky. I was set to do my student teaching at St. Genevieve High School with Chris Trimmer. You guys probably all know Chris.
Yeah.
So I was going to do my student teaching with Chris, and my family's lifelong friends with Mark Benson from when he came to the area and was coaching at Festus before he went to Valley Catholic. And Mark heard that I was going to be at St. Gen Public, and John Bacon needed an assistant football coach. So while I'm doing my student teaching, I was an assistant football coach at Valley Catholic. It was in '95. It was Judd's senior year when Judd was a quarterback. And I was a very, very limited freshman assistant coach who got to experience a state championship in the first coaching job I'd ever had.
Wow.
And then, 1999, on staff at Herculaneum, where we won the state title, beat Branson in the state championship with, great experience. Great experience. And,
That was baseball?
Baseball. Started 6 sophomores and won a state title that year. Probably could have or should have won another one when that bunch was seniors, and we got tripped up on the road we lost to an 8 seed who had won their district out at Sullivan. Those are 2 pretty cool experiences from the coaching aspect. Officiating wise, probably 3 or 4 things. I've worked high school games. I worked Class 5 state championship in 2008, Webster Groves and McClure North when that was still the largest class. Worked the second Scott County Sykeston game at the Show Me Center.
I was there.
Were you? I worked the second one. It wasn't exciting. I don't think it was as exciting as the end of the first one.
The first one was great.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, which is why they brought 3 guys from out of the area for that one. So that was cool to work in front of 6,000 or 7,000 people. My last game is really special. The Eminence Walnut Grove game.
I was there.
It helped out that Stratford girls were playing after, so there were probably 6,000 or 7,000 people at that game. Worked 2 games at the Dome. They always do a dry run for the NCAA regionals. Worked a couple of JUCO games in the Dome where it was set up like you'd see at the Elite 8 or whatever, and there was nobody there. Maybe 300 people, maybe not even that many. Cool experience. I'm lucky enough to work in all the Division I facilities in the state. And just those are kind of the highlights of things.
Cool. Well, we greatly appreciate you coming on. Hopefully, we'll get some more officials. Especially from Jefferson County area to be able to help benefit the kids. And that's the whole reason why we're all in this business together.
Absolutely. There's tremendous opportunities. It's a way to give back. It's a way to make a little extra money. And it's just a good thing to be involved with. And I appreciate you guys having me down.
Yes, thanks. Appreciate it,
It's been
Pat.
great.
You're more than welcome to stay on with us unless you need to go. But,
I've got a 9 a.m. flight for club volleyball tomorrow morning, so I need to be at the airport early.
Well,
so I'm a jet.
We appreciate it, Coach, and safe travels tomorrow. And we look forward to hearing and hopefully get some people from our show to come out and help you.
Thanks, fellas.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Thanks. Thank you. We don't have to take any commercial breaks. We'll jump right into our next.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach. Right in our next segment, we're going to be talking a little bit about college basketball.
Yeah. So the bigger story that we can discuss is you either want to do the bracket or you want to talk about Mizzou basketball and what to do going forward.
We can talk about
English.
Huh?
They're going to hire Kim English.
I said Rick Pitino.
What do you think?
I don't know.
Ricky P. Ricky P.
I don't know. I mean, it was just a sad state of affairs. I mean, when Consul came in and there's a lot of hype surrounding him, he did a really good job at the different places coming from Tennessee. You're thinking he's going
Missouri
to be
State too, I believe.
Missouri State. You think he's going to
California.
going to recruit in state, and it just never panned out. And we actually talked about this in class the other day. We had some fellows in our current events class, and we're filling out our bracket and all that. And I said, man, just imagine what Mizzou basketball could have been like if they could have just kept all these guys in state, and then let's just go ahead and throw out greater St. Louis area in Illinois as well. I mean, you've got guys, UNC, Ohio State.
Let's be real, though. Conzo's whole thing would have been different if the Porter brothers would have stayed healthy.
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
it
At least
changed.
for the 1 year. I mean, Michael, he was out. He was done after one. Maybe they,
Yeah, but if he would have been healthy for an entire season of
Right.
one, and then the other brother would have been healthy for two or three full seasons. I threw out Kim English because that's a name that
it is.
that's been thrown out there. Rick Pitino's not coming to Mizzou. I don't see.
No, because he said he's like only how many blocks from his house, from his apartment, and he's in New York City.
That's his apartment.
Hey, he's an Italian guy. He's not coming to the Midwest unless he's in Witsec. Okay.
Telling
He's
you
not-
what was out there today.
Oh, okay. No.
Okay.
He ain't coming.
Hey.
Can Mizzou get a big name?
No.
Can they ever get a big splash?
I
And
think
then
they need a big splash if they're going to start turning the corner and
how
make
do
things
you-
right.
Then how do you keep in state? You have the NIL.
Well, Greg Marshall, I heard too.
You have the NIL.
Greg Marshall today.
You've got the name, image, likeness. You've got
The names.
you've got all kinds of money that you can throw at these kids now legally. Why can't we get
And illegally.
And
Oh, yeah,
illegally.
illegally.
And whatever, hey,
Who cares? They all get paid. Let's go.
that's what I'm saying. But how do you get them to
Especially in
stay?
Kentucky.
How do you get him to
How
stay?
do you get them to stay?
Here's a big bag of cash.
Yes, that works.
You can do that now legally. Hey,
Well, hey,
brought to you by Walmart.
Hey, all that money that Blair just spent at St. Paul, maybe St. Paul could bring some of those athletes and keep them here.
Thank you, St. Paul.
I would St. Paul recruit Herculaneum. Oh wait, we don't recruit.
Whoa.
Sun to influence.
There are some nice subdivisions out here.
There is.
Peebly and Herky, but anyway.
Yes.
But
They're not. They're just. They're not going to,
I
guys.
think they are. I think they are.
Are they?
think they
Okay, who's the splash then?
I don't know. I just know that they're going to. They're
Coach
going
Cal
to,
coming? Did you call him and say, "Listen, hey bud"?
No,
this
you
dude
coming.
is from Illinois first, and then he's a Kentucky fan.
Oh.
How can you not be rooting
Hey.
for the Illini?
Bru-
It makes no
Bruce
sense.
I am
Weber.
rooting for Illini.
Did Bruce Weber come?
Yeah, he did resign.
Yeah.
He did
Why?
resign. Well, I don't know.
Did he say you need to resign or get fired?
It was that or one or the other.
I've had
but-
that
His
conversation.
interview was kind of like the press release interview, whatever, was interesting.
Well, if most people don't know him personally, I know him personally, and I talk about an
Wait,
outstanding.
you know Bruce Weber?
Yeah, very nice guy.
What do you mean personally? How personal do you know?
Well,
you could call him right now. Text him.
I coached with him at SIU Carbondale.
Okay, so can we get Bruce Weber on the show?
I doubt that would happen.
Why?
But
You don't know
So you were
personally.
a
then.
GA.
he's not. Yes, he's not going to come here. I
You were a
promise you. that.
GA.
Well,
Yes.
we can go
For you.
there.
And so here's the
This
thing.
is a traveling
Road
show.
trip.
Here's the thing with
Traveling
that
road
guy.
show.
Here's the thing with that guy. He is probably one of the nicest guys as far as when you get to have a conversation with the guy. I think he really knows the game of basketball and he coaches it, defensive minded for sure. I mean, if you look at all the places he's been, his teams play solid defense. I don't know necessarily, but he's maybe somebody that might be interested in the job.
You got to get. I don't know. You got to make a splash. Look at Auburn.
You got to make a splash to get some people.
You look at Auburn. I mean, it's a cellar dweller. Then you bring in Bruce Pearl, and here they are,
Hey,
top 5 team.
Let's get Drew Hanlon. At least he'll be able to develop some guys.
Travis Ford was talking about. They mentioned
that was
his name,
another name.
today.
No
so-
way.
Does he leave
With
Slough?
what he has coming back at SLU, I cannot. He's going to get the
He gets to
injured
do
guy.
whatever he wants.
Yeah. No
he,
way.
he owns SLU right now. Why would he leave to go to Mizzou
Well,
where
and he's
you're
got
not the okay.
I don't care. He's got a lot coming back.
Listen,
It'll be hard.
you mean to
He's got
tell
one
me
of the
that-
best point guards in the nation.
Whoa.
Almost in the nation. They got one of the best point guards in the nation. They got the leading scorer coming back.
Right.
There's no way he's going.
Jarvis is a
Two
SLU
words.
fan. Don't mess
Two
with it.
words. Transfer portal.
What about it?
It's coming.
Come
into
on,
high
guys.
school here soon.
Let's take the 2-hour road trip and get some Shakespeare's pizza, and you guys can
Some
be wearing
CJ's wings.
some wear a Mizzou jersey.
Coach
You're
Rhodes says Dana Altman.
I've heard
that
that
name
name too. Yeah.
Who would want to be out there in freaking Oregon where you get new uniforms and anything?
Nike-
Wait.
money?
I'm talking about money. Mizzou money ain't touching Oregon
yeah.
money.
Nike.
But I can
Oregon money equals Nike money.
I can tell you,
No.
I think that
Well, he's going to text.
I think Mizzou's going to do the.
Hey, Bruce.
Mizzou is going to make.
Hey, do you want to be on the Herky girls basketball?
Hey, you want to be on our bench? I need some help.
Oh gosh, you guys are.
I got to win my 4th conference title.
Hey, Bruce, will you be in a commercial with me?
Yeah, I definitely won't do that. Promise you that. But as far as if you look back and I think that you look at Mizzou, they got to make a big time name
I know.
decision. I think at this point, where men's basketball's gone, you've got to do it. If you're Mizzou and you want to be competitive in the SEC, you'd better do it now. I don't think there's any way, shape, or form for that to not happen.
Side note, talking about Mizzou, so Frank Haith, he leaves Tulsa.
I saw that.
And then coming in, maybe getting the job behind him is coach before him, Mike Anderson.
Yes.
So,
Nuh-uh.
oh yeah, talking
He's
about
getting
Mike.
Tulsa?
Maybe because he worked there or
Yes,
he
he
played
did.
there or whatever it was. Yeah, they're talking about that connection.
Wow.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
anyway. No, Mizzou's not. They're not going to get a big splash. They'll get some. I'll tell you what. At best, they get Kim English. That's it.
I don't think so.
At best.
You
They're
got
not-
to get somebody that's going to recruit.
Let's go get Quinn Snyder back.
Well, here's what I'll tell you. I
Take
think it's got to be.
I'll
a big
take
time,
it.
I think it's got to be a big time name that these.
Sorry, that's all my notes.
I'll
gotta be
take
a
it, and I will go party with him.
It's got to be a big time name for 2 reasons. I think it's got to be a big time name to get quality players at Mizzou,
With a lot of value.
and then the second thing is
$6 million of value Konzo's
I think you're going to get an older guy that's been around a while, maybe have gotten out, or is maybe at the end of their career and wants to end something with the final hoorah.
They got a 5-year plan.
Because
Don't die.
because I really do think that's what Mizzou needs at this point.
Coach K's retiring. Maybe he can get out of retirement.
He might. Like,
Who'd
come
you
on over
say?
here.
Speaking of like Brady. Gotcha.
Hey, guess who's back? Guess who's back, Jason?
I knew he was never gone. I said that.
Did you see the memes where it's like,
He did
hold on,
say that.
it was Giselle, hey, I need you to pick up the kids. I need you to do this. I need you to do that. He's like, I'm coming back.
Gas prices got Brady coming out of retirement.
That dude will not quit until, I don't know that he can do anything else.
I don't know. I think he could act.
I was going to say, he could do that.
No,
He could-
I'm just saying his competitive drive and that I've done this for this long, I just don't, I don't know.
Hey, speaking of
like me
repeat
at work.
performances, by the way, my boy Matt Davis had to throw out South Iron back-to-back state champs.
Congrats.
To throw out there.
Congrats to them. Coach Dinkins.
Drennan, who I will have the luxury of actually getting the coach, dropped 29 in the first half of the state
Hold on.
championship game.
Here's going to be his first play. He's going to draw it up. Ready?
from the
Dinkins, what do you want to do?
hey, you want to come across half court and just
Hey,
shoot the damn thing?
You could be in my
Let it go.
shoes. You
What
could be in
is-
my shoes. Hey, let me tell you something. Should be in my shoes. I'm coaching the JCAA. Guess what it is? 7 Herculaneum girls and 1 Pius girl versus all the MAAA.
You have 7 seniors on that team?
because everybody else dropped out.
Every one of my kids said they're playing.
I'm like, what
You
in
have
the world?
7.
Oh, yeah, 7.
So it's like
Just
you
think
get
about it.
another hookie
Soccer.
game.
So I get one more game with my girls.
Is it at Herky too? Is it at?
Hey, wait. Hey, Stefan, we're just going to wear our jerseys to this.
Don't even have to worry about it. I'll just take care of it.
Colleen, here, why don't you put this Herky jersey on? Oh, it's not undue influence now. Don't worry. Just put the damn thing on. It's okay.
But now
hey,
that goes back to since we're talking local stuff. That's always been the problem when you try and do these all-star games is that you've got these kids that are going into the spring. You know that they probably should be a part of these all-star games, but they're like, no, I've got another sport to do, or I don't want to get hurt because I'm trying to get a scholarship for this. So it's great, but then unfortunately you get these
well,
situations.
just if it's about the hurt thing, I mean, look, you could just walk outside and your porch collapse on top
Well,
of you.
they get hurt when they're doing their,
Stretches.
when they're trying to get their 500 or 1,000 shots up a day or whatever they're doing training-wise.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hey, life's short. Have fun.
if I would have been good
totally
enough
agree.
to play in the All-Star game, my ass would have been going to the All-Star
You're
game.
damn right.
And I would have jacked up every 3 I got a chance to shoot.
And real quick, because
He would have done.
And I would have shot bows like Pius.
hey. Wait, we only had the 2-point line. No, I'm just kidding. So
Are they still doing the challenge, the Missouri Challenge?
I'll be honest. I don't know.
You're on the
They
board?
redid it, and I'm not sure how they're
know if they're gonna
doing
do it
it
this
because we ran into a lot of problems with that because the same thing because it's a 2-day thing and you have to go and stay and all that. It was hard to get kids to commit, or you get kids from a certain town in Missouri. In let's just say southeast Missouri, and you tell them, hey, this game's in Springfield. And they literally drive to Springfield, Illinois for the Missouri Challenge. This is a true story. Did I ever tell you
I
this?
heard about
Springfield,
this.
Illinois.
Drive to Springfield, Illinois, miss the first game, and then drive all the way from Springfield, Illinois to Springfield, Missouri.
That's a long drive.
And they play 5 minutes in the game.
Nope.
That's it.
Wow.
They played 5 minutes.
Well,
You mean they showed up
They showed up
and only had 5 minutes left?
in the game, and they play. And it's like, just put them in, let them play. Oh, I'm telling you right now, it's like, who's the geography teacher at that school?
Man, it must be me.
There he is, right there. Springfield, Illinois, to Springfield, Missouri on a straight. Hey, from wherever they were, and I'll tell you afterwards, because I don't want to front anybody out.
I forget who it
It's
is.
in southeast Missouri,
Yeah, I know. It's
all the way to Springfield, Illinois, and then straight. It was like
Why
a
would you
13-hour
even-
trip.
Why would you even have thought it's Missouri? It's
I don't know. For
Missouri
Missouri
Challenge.
I just want to throw that. It was
You're gonna go
Missouri
to
Challenge.
Springfield.
We're gonna play it Springfield,
He
Illinois.
must have been from Illinois.
No, wait. Hey,
Oh,
there
my.
was 3 kids that were on the team from that were gonna play in it from the same school, and they all 3 were in the car together, and they all 3 took the same trip.
Figured the Rockies to be a little rockier.
Hey, if that joke came out, I don't know how many times, because we're all like, this is like in real time. It's like, are you? This really happened? This is happening. No. What? Yeah, it was great. Anyway, class 2. I don't know if anybody saw. I don't know if anybody paid the $15. I did.
15.
I get it was a whole thing pass. I get to watch all of them
Oh,
for all of them. Thank you. Not for
$15.
one game.
Okay. Phew.
Yeah, I would say no.
Okay.
But as I was sitting there with my broke down car, watching it on my phone, Class 2 ended up being a 1-point game between Norwood and Bernie. I know the assistant coach from Norwood. I know the head coach at Bernie. Both great guys. So I hated for either one of them to lose. Bernie had the ball under their own basket on the out-of-bounds play with 3 seconds left and lost by 1. I mean, just
Tough.
And it was a great game to watch. It was a fun game. I didn't get to watch Class 3. Class 3 was
Good. Another good one.
another good one. Charleston, who is a artesian well of basketball talent from
Is that
southeast
number
Missouri.
12?
12.
It's
Number 12.
oh yeah,
12 state championship.
That's awesome.
Number 3 behind Scott County.
Would be nice,
and,
yes.
And
I just want to
somebody else.
go.
Just
I want to
once.
win. I want to.
Hey.
I want to win a conference, and I'll be happy. And then a district. and then let's go bigger. But I got to win a conference first.
I don't want to tell Jason about the conference T-shirts.
The hell with your shirts.
He got him one, though. He got him one.
I bought
I want to wear that damn thing.
Me. Arse. I got you one.
Oh, well, yeah, you win it
said
every
the
other
same
year.
thing.
Ours. Look at him.
Every other year. He's won it 3 years in a row.
Well, I know, but I mean,
3 times.
it's like a 6th time
Not
or
one,
something, or
not
8,
2.
10. I mean,
Oh, gosh.
Well, when you're the biggest school and the small school,
That's
is
true.
Per your rationale.
Hiding in the small school.
It'll never happen, my friends.
Oh, hey. You
And
just
the
talked
reason
about
why-
these
Just
subdivisions.
based on math, he should
The
win
reason
every
why
year
it will
per-
never
per what
happen
you
is
guys
because
say.
when we get in, if through the large school side, there's going to be 300 to 400 more students in the smallest large school than us.
Okay. You don't think that didn't happen at other places?
It doesn't happen on the small school side for right now.
You hold on, time out. I'm not good at math, but you have how many kids? 500?
Okay, so
Less
Crystal
than- we
City,
have less
one
than
school. One school.
They do the best they can.
They do. And I think it helps them
I
in
know.
postseason time.
So,
But they have no choice.
hey, it can help you.
You can caress my shoulder all you need, my friend.
It can help you too, though.
No. I already play them all anyway.
On the large school side,
Mm-hmm.
they don't want to play small schools.
Should we go home and home?
On the
Just-
small
just
school
right
side?
Now, right now, boom, it's done.
Home and home.
Home and home.
Do
Next
it.
year.
Small school side?
Every baseball,
It won't happen.
basketball, volleyball.
That won't happen.
No.
why?
Is there a rationale why?
I think the only reason why it won't happen is because of the small schools already play a lot of the larger schools and the transportation and all the local proximity. If you're going and playing these same schools over and over again, and then you see them in postseason, I think that's why the large schools, I've heard, may possibly get away from that.
Disband it? Really?
They
Because-
just put it
2
in.
years, right?
I agree, and I heard the only reason why they don't want to do it is because they're consistently playing each other 5 or 6
They
times.
get
I
out
not
of
say
the
that?
tournaments.
There we go. Did we
But
not
some of
say
those
that?
tournaments, why would you want to get it? If you're a Festus, why would you want to get out of the Steighorst tournament?
To play other people?
I get it.
Or-
But you know what?
Or
Why not schedule and stay in that? 'Cause that's a good quality tournament.
I get it.
Why not go? Why get out of the Christmas tournament?
You're not
Um,
going to get out of the Christmas.
For because you might play Hillsboro twice, or you might see him once there and then
you're not
play him
getting out of
twice.
the Christmas tournament.
So
No, the Christmas tournament, no. But Staghorst, I can see getting out of.
I mean,
Why not?
Look, if it's not a major holiday tournament with a lot of tradition, at this point, who cares?
well, I'm just going to tell you that I think that's something that's a probability down the road for sure. I don't know when. but-
Hey, maybe I'll do what Zach wants to do and just get out of all the tournaments.
What? What are you talking
That's
about?
what you were
Get
saying. You're like, get out of all of them. Don't go to Rolla.
Play 26
Don't play
games.
in Valley Park. Definitely get
it?
out
What
of
are you-
Bruce Thomas.
You're making up stuff on air
No,
right now.
I'm
I
not.
never said that. Ever.
I think you had a little bit too much Pepsi to drink.
I said that we should just go to all
I
tournaments.
need another one.
Playing as many tournaments as you can. Make up 26 games. Why not?
Road trip.
Just go wherever and play.
Oh, that
I-
costs money and fuel. You just said that.
Yeah.
Why they're not doing that?
I still
Fuel's
think,
going to go away.
I still
Fuel,
think
is it with electric cars?
Hey, the
electric
barrel,
buses?
the cost of a barrel is going down to about $50
where
Your ass.
tomorrow.
where
What's? Is he high?
Nope. Nope.
Are you
I'm not.
out of your mind?
I'm
Tomorrow?
What's in that thing?
I was gonna say that
I'm just telling
the barrel can go down all at once. Doesn't mean this is gonna change over on that sign over there.
you. Well, I'm not going to get political here.
no.
so-
Are we gonna start buying oil from Russia all of a sudden?
We had. Now we're stopped.
The Keystone
My
Pipeline
goodness.
isn't
That
finished.
would have been great, wouldn't it?
Yes,
Maybe.
Coach Board Middle School did decide to go to home for middle school now. So
How about
They did.
once again
We got-
Tuesday, Fridays, quads. Tuesday, Fridays.
I agree.
Boom.
I agree. Or I just said every Friday from January to the end of February you play quads,
Conference
conference quads. That's
on
it.
Fridays.
On
I like
Fridays.
the Fridays.
Or Saturdays. Let's do Fridays and
Saturdays.
Saturdays.
No.
No.
I don't want to. No.
Listen, I know you guys want to see your families, but I like my daughter, and
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, I don't.
I'm just saying that's what they're saying.
wait on the
Never.
on the weekends I don't have her. I'm okay with that. Weekends I do, not so much. No.
No, I don't want to.
I like the idea of Fridays. How many conference? 5? We got 5,
6,
6.
10 games.
No.
There's
just
6
5.
on the small school
'Cause we're not
side and
doing
5 on
8
the
games
large.
if we did home and home.
No, it's 5.
It's 10. It'd be 10 and 10.
It's 5. There's 6 JCC small
So it'll be
schools.
10
so you're only
games.
talking 5 nights of quads.
Talk about the quads.
I already have 4.
Quads?
Yes.
So why isn't it not on everybody?
Just
Because
St.
it's-
Vincent's the only one we don't.
We did.
Not everybody
2
has
last
them
year.
on Friday nights, Zach.
And my question is, why not?
Well, I know Grandview just moved our game from the Friday we normally have it, the first week of January. They're going to the bourbon tournament.
Yeah, they got out of ours. to
So
go there.
yes, and so they wanted to move our game. So now we play them the last game of the season, which is now on the 14th, which is a Tuesday in February.
The conference won't be decided until at least February 14th.
No,
May not even play the game.
They'll already beat us by then.
Like you say, may not even play the game.
Well, you never know.
I don't know.
Well,
I
this is another open the
I don't. Wait.
door.
open Pandora's box.
Yeah. Yes,
and
topic.
quit saying
Why?
I ain't gonna beat nobody. I didn't beat you this year. Shut up.
Jason,
He's got everybody coming back. Hey,
you've got
I do not have everybody coming back.
you're losing Fuller.
Okay, 12 points and 6 rebounds.
Okay,
A
do
game.
you want to count how many points that we are losing?
No, I don't care.
Okay.
You said that after Nager left. Oh, we're gonna be terrible. We're gonna be awful. Yeah, notice that music starts coming up, and they'll recruit in another couple people.
oh my
Oh,
God.
I'm sorry. Did I hit the mute button?
Muted me out now.
Hey, anytime you want to come over and you can do the walkthroughs too.
No, I won't do those. Keep that away.
I'm gonna send Jill on a walkthrough.
There you go.
Be okay.
Why
I got
not?
comments. I got comments.
Then maybe McVey will tell her how great it is while she's over there.
Won't say a word. Probably would never see her.
He's in the annex.
Yeah.
They keep him locked away.
Don't let him around anybody.
You got a private bathroom. Shut up.
That's nice.
All right. Well, it's that time. It's
So
it's time to go.
my question is, before we go,
Oh no!
Hey. who's your national champion?
Oh no! We are not going anywhere.
Who is your national champion?
Go.
For me,
Anybody who wants to go?
not Kentucky. Anybody but Kentucky.
Oh gosh.
Here, right here.
Who is your national champion? Coach Mc-
I think I put on the bracket. I think I had to put Arizona, and I don't know. I haven't researched it enough, but just the way Gonzaga's not winning.
No,
Gonzaga is not winning.
they'll get upset in the Sweet 16 game.
Why aren't they winning?
Why? Because they don't play anybody. They don't. They have.
Nobody wants to play them.
They don't. They're in the whatever
Whack.
conference. Yeah. W.
Totally whack.
Yeah.
Western
played it.
Athletic Conference.
Don't play anybody.
I mean, I'm bleeding blue here, my friends. I'm
Oh,
bleeding
you're
blue.
always gonna.
Oh
look,
my God, are you serious?
No bounce.
Oh,
hey,
my
I'm gonna
God.
go with my friend Dickie
Are we ready to end
Vital.
the show?
No,
I'm going.
It's
with
after 10. I gotta go.
I don't give a damn.
It's
You're not
bedtime.
going anywhere.
I'm
Matter of
going.
fact, the music is going off.
I'm
Oh,
going
is
with
it?
my friend
Nobody's
Dickie V.
watching anyway.
I don't care.
Dickie V.
What do you say?
He said the Kentucky Wildcats are gonna win.
Okay, well, I
How
definitely
much
don't
chemo
go
did he
with-
do at the point when he made that
Oh,
He
prediction?
was already out of that.
I'm moving over because when lightning strikes.
You're out of the picture now.
Yeah, exactly.
Terrible, coach.
Man.
Well, now wait a minute. Chemo brain is a real thing, okay?
I know.
What are you? Oh, yeah.
he
You
still
better be
had-
getting ready.
All right,
He still
so-
had his
yeah,
diaper dandy.
Here we go.
Mine's-
He still
Mine's
had his
either Arizona
Thank you.
Okay.
or Auburn.
See?
Wait, you're off. You're off
So,
the air. Good
I-
God, did you bring everything to clean up with?
The other one that I think about is
They want to go home
Yes.
after 10 o'clock.
what about Iowa?
So I'm trying to help them out. Hold on.
Does everybody see this?
About Iowa. So the reason why we're getting ready to do this before we close out the show, we have 1,400 followers.
I've had a bunch of followers
The
from
last
my
week,
page.
yeah.
I would have been nice if it was somebody I invited.
1,400. 1,400. Over 1,400 now. So we appreciate every single one of you. We hope that all 1,400 of you are watching the show this week and get to experience Coach McVey with taking maybe a little bit of pie in his face. Hey. Chris is awful nice. That is all for you, the 1,400 viewers. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And on that note, we can. Hey, you got a little white
but we
stuff
still
there on your
need
face.
we still need your Final Four pick to win it. Who's
Final
gonna win
Four.
it? Who's gonna win it? Who's gonna win it all?
Coach, hey, let's go, Duke.
Oh,
Let's
God.
go,
That,
Duke.
no, that's not happening.
There's a stat out there I just was reading the other day, and it was a certain defensive stat.
Tennessee.
And only these 6 teams, and Tennessee's one of them.
Tennessee.
Tennessee.
It's going to be Gonzaga's, Arizona, UCLA, Tennessee, Baylor, or Auburn. I said Arizona or Auburn.
I say Kentucky.
Zach, you got it. It sounded like
You got a lot of white stuff on your face.
he's a pro
Oh my gosh! Here we go.
with the pies. Your beard.
Look at his beard. Oh, my.
You get a little old. You got some white in your beard.
All right. Well, yeah.
Stress. It's called stress.
So this is episode 99.
Next week.
Next week we'll have episode 100.
Yep.
Tune in.
100.
Yep.
Tune in from now until next week to find out some fun details of next week. We're going to be throwing out a bunch of information throughout between now and next Wednesday about the show, the location, who's going to be on it, and vice versa. So you won't want to miss next week's show.
Are we going on special location?
Maybe so. Maybe
It's gonna
so.
be off the rails. I don't care what we're doing. It's off the rails.
Guarantee you will be off the rails. But I can. We want to also thank Coach Pat Burns for coming on tonight. We greatly appreciate him driving
It was
down
nice
here.
having like 3 black cats, really.
It
You know,
It was great.
You
to
know,
have.
it was kind of the black cat coach's box a little bit.
It felt like
Not
a little bit-
much.
We overbound a little bit.
A little bit.
Just a little bit. So
Whatever.
But so you won't want to miss next week's show if you want to. Maybe I think we got some good questions that we're going to bring up this week throughout the week. But we're going to have some Ask the Coach questions that we're going to ask next week.
This is a bunch of stuff I'm just learning about.
That's right.
That must have been a girls' coach's thing or something.
No. So tune in throughout now and through next week for the Coach's Box for the
Throw up another picture of Zach with the
100th episode.
And thanks to everybody for tuning in. You've been watching the Coach's Box. Good night.
Deuce.